Mm.
Hi, hello everybody.
Hi.
Welcome. You've
Mm.
made it to another exciting episode of This is the Future.
Unfortunately.
Couldn't say it any better than that, folks. That's right. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of shit. That's how we do it. Huh? Huh?
Good.
All
That's what
right, man. You look good, Alex. Is it hot or cold outside? I can never tell based upon the hat you're wearing.
Well, here's the thing is I can't tell you because I want to keep you guessing. I don't I don't want this mystery between us to end. So
That's right. Yeah. Fuck. It,
I'll
it
say this.
literally could be 80 degrees in Portland right now, or it could be raining or snowing. So he's ready for anything. Or he's
It's
ready to rob
not
a bank. You never
it's
know.
not hot or cold. It's fair to middling, fair to middling.
Shut up. I haven't heard that in a while, but that was horrible. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I hate that saying. I don't know what the fuck it
Fair to
means.
middling. I love it. I love stupid sayings. Fair to
No, I
middle.
love it sounds like something they came up with in Texas. Fair to Midland, like Midland, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It, I don't know. I like weird sayings. Fair to middling. Three shakes of a lamb's tail. Out of the blue,
Yeah.
what's a blue? I don't know.
Let's see what else we got. I like the Texans have some really good sayings. Another one I've heard is if a woman was tall and she walked by, one might say she's up there in the wind.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Um,
Um,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no, oh yeah, that's a good one. I mean, yeah, there's classic ones like a tall drink of water.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
I got one. Here's this joke I heard about the North and the South.
Mhm.
That Northerners are like hemorrhoids. When they come down south and they go back up, they're okay. But when they come down south and they stay, they're a real pain in the ass. I like that one.
Is it true?
I don't know. I didn't stay. I'm back up here now. Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like grab them by the short and curlies.
Ouch.
Yeah. My dad has one that I've never heard before, but he says it's a real saying, and it doesn't. When he needs to leave somewhere, he always goes, um, "Yeah, I got something in the oven. I gotta go."
I like. I heard someone use it. Maybe I don't know, but I like that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that, or the kid screaming like,
yeah,
"What? You don't have a kid? Gotta go."
yeah.
The kid screaming like, "Fuck."
Well, like, it's just like, why would you put something in the oven and go somewhere? You irresponsible shit.
I know that's. I love it. It sounds. Yeah, exactly. If it made total sense, that wouldn't be okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like I had one loaded, like locked and loaded to tell you, but it escaped me. But anyway, how you been? How was your week, Tony?
I'm good, but real quick, if anyone listening to this show has one to add,
Oh,
like
okay.
a favorite saying or something, come on, somebody must have thought it's something while we're running our mouth. So if you think of it, please suggest it. I'd love to have a nice little list going, and we'll read them out. That'll be great. Thank you. Yes, my week was fucking rowdy. Um, not because I'm a party animal. I did just come back from an orgy, whatever, but still.
You probably
No,
give me.
hmm? No.
I wouldn't consider that a joke. I'd be like, he might have.
I like to leave it. I live in the gray area, Alex.
Hmm.
I live there.
So that's your beanie. That's your stocking cap. Okay, I get it. All right.
I'll get a gray beanie if it helps. Let's see. Nothing got really exciting till the fucking wheels fell off. I was at work hating life as I usually do, and then all of a sudden came out with all the fun-filled flu-like symptoms all at once. Had to leave my duty station, my shitty desk, run to the toilet, and just give up everything I've consumed in the last 24 hours. Made me totally violently ill. And then after putting cotton shit up my nose and trying to find out if I had COVID, another kidney stone came to visit me. The kidney stone fairy's back, ladies and gentlemen. That cocksucker never gives up.
Sorry, man.
God damn it. So I spent my Saturday off like basically like shivering and just a pain in the ass. But the thing is like I'm getting better at this because I'm not going to quit eating sugar. So I just got to get better at kidney stones. Totally fucking kidding. Totally
Yeah,
fucking kidding. I'm actually, I just have, I don't eat like a cupcake every day, but I will eat 24 in one day
yeah,
and then
yeah.
take 3 weeks off. Um, but I take the icing off. Anyway, trying to be smart about it. But yeah, that was a real bitch. So ended up being like it sucks because everyone's like, "How you feeling?" It's like if you hear me yelling from the bathroom, then you know it's over. That's about it. Until then, it's just a lot of like your stomach's bubbling. I get every symptom. If you Google what it feels like when you get a kidney stone, it says you could vomit, or you could get the poops, or you could not get the poops. You could get the sweats. You could get this. I got the whole list. I got every
Oh,
symptom. It was awesome. I was like, this is great. I got the whole package. Thanks, Google. Seriously, otherwise I'd be like, I'm dying. Then
you
we'd
got the
be
whole
dying
package.
again. It was great. Yeah, but I actually we all thought I had COVID and everything. So I rocked that. Still have it. Haven't pissed the little fucker out, but I do believe I'll be able to get rid of this one. And then hey, I hear there's more. You know, it's like an Easter basket. Just keeps they're just eggs. They're just there. It's great. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, I'm really excited about it. Um, but we went to see how I actually thought this might help. But we went to this have you ever I've mentioned these cats before, the DuPonts. They're big around Delaware and we live right over the river. DuPont. Okay, so long story short, they moved to America and EI DuPont learned how to make gunpowder when he was in France and came back and perfected black powder,
Mhm.
and they made that for a long ass time, and they put their factory right on the river so that they anyway, smart move. They put their little mansion up on the hill, and this place it was just a cool story because it's history, so you can go visit it and all that stuff. You know, you pay money and you tour the property. Cool as hell. The house is really neat. There was a sweet old lady. It was a guided tour. Sweet old lady, just as sweet as sugared peaches. Oh my goodness. So you didn't see this part coming. She would walk into a room and she's sweet, but she's from the area. So she's got some zingers. Takes us into these different rooms, tells us these cool things. You know, look at that. This woman collected hook rugs and yada, yada, yada. They loved eagles, etc., etc. She's talking about the dogs. She's like, they had a shitload of these, you know, these Labradors over the fuck. They were a shitload of these dogs. It's like, oh, that's cool. Such a sweet young lady, the old lady. But when she said this thing, all 13 of us just, you know, I think everyone just kind of, oh, I laughed because I had to. But she said they had a lot of puppies. And of course, the property overlooked the river. So we're looking at the river. She's talking, and she's like, they had a lot of puppies. And they had so many, they used to drown them in the river. What the fuck? What? I like hopped up like a jack in the box. I was like, ah, what? What'd you say? Oh my God. Fuck, you can't even say something like that in some states. That's horrible, but she nailed it. It's so subtle. She rolled right on through to the next thing. She didn't stop. She didn't give you a chance. I was like, what? That's sad and fucked up, but I'm glad you said it. That's dark as shit.
It is one of those things that coming from like a sweet old lady like that. It's like, huh? You know? um,
Wow.
those rich fucks. Why didn't you give them away? Why didn't you sell them? You don't have to kill them. There's other people in the world.
My brain is automatically like, let's talk about how this process would go down, but I don't want to talk about it. I really like animals. It's not that funny to me, but the fact that she said it, the way
Yeah.
it just, you know, it's like, oh, and this is how they made pies. And in that river, they drown puppies. And if you look over there, there's strawberry patch. Like, wait a minute. You just said drowning puppies.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
it's not funny that they drowned puppies. It's funny that like it was
Right, right.
like if I was like, yeah, we used to drown dogs in that pond over there, you'd be like, you fucking maniac! Like, look at me. It would be like upsetting. But a sweet little old lady that has like sugar peaches in her dress or whatever you said, like it was just like, yeah, we used to drown little puppies in that lake over there. Be like, oh wait, huh?
Scratch the record. Excuse me.
What?
She reminded me of that little woman from Tommy Boy, where she's talking about her husband. They're all at the big table, and they're talking about, you know, the plant shutting down. And she's like, "That's when the whores come in." Like she reminded me of
Yeah,
that. Just like, whoa.
yeah. One time at the war, I saw one whore, and then now my life has been a living hell ever since.
That's right. Alex has seen whores. No, he's quoting a movie. Um, from Tommy Boy. So we went there and we went back the next day. I took the next day off and just wasn't feeling it. So but you gotta walk around when you have kidney stones. You gotta have movement. That's the whole point. Once the fucker pops out of your kidney, goes down in your piss tube, but you just gotta wiggle and you gotta move your body. So we went back to check out the gunpowder exhibit, and that was pretty cool, man. Black powder, excuse me. But here's the crazy part, man. They lived up on the hill, and they used to work up against the river, and so they could use the river to, they didn't have any fucking power, so they figured all this out using hydropower. It's pretty fucking rad, to be honest with you. The older I get, the more I think science is pretty damn nifty. In any case, they had explosions here all the time at this property. Like even the house was hit with fucking shrapnel. A beam, like a beam or some like the ceiling fucking came down on the woman who lived there, and like she was forever fucked up. Like it was crazy. It was like living in a war, it's like living in a fucking war zone. Like beautiful, and then boom, just black powder explosion.
Okay, so like the black powder will explode every once in a while.
Yeah, that's what their industry. That's what they did. They made black powder. So they lived up on the hill. They had a family, and they had this beautiful property. But right down there, you can see them, and just bombs going off fucking randomly. Just explosions. You couldn't wear any metal in your pockets, anything that could cause a spark, like that kind of thing. It was pretty fucking cool, man, to know that like over 120 years ago they were figuring this shit out. And figuring it out in a deadly way. I think over a couple hundred people died, and while it was open, it's like, it's a couple hundred. Like, whoa, fuck me. OSHA would have a fucking fit. Like, can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty rad, man. Yeah, it was for rocking kidney stones. It was nice. And then dude set off a little explosion, and now I was like, well, maybe this will scare me enough to piss myself, and then we'll have to worry about that damn stone anymore. But it didn't happen. It wasn't loud enough.
Did they talk about one of the family members that murdered someone there?
No. The fuck are you reading?
So there's this there's a movie and a documentary.
Oh, are you gonna talk about? You mean Foxcatcher?
Yeah.
No. This wasn't on that property or anything. This is a different property. But yeah, Foxcatcher. Yeah. Alex loves that story.
Yeah.
He's like some weird fucked up rich dude starts a wrestling camp.
Yeah, it has like a wrestling camp for like the U.S. Olympic team and the U.S. like big time wrestlers, and he killed the captain of the U.S. wrestling team.
You sure as shit did. I don't even know if he got locked up because that's
I don't
how
think he did. I don't think he did.
No, that's when you realize that business runs the country, not the other way.
Yeah, we'll have like bunch of fucking money, a bunch of money.
Well, the government's like, "Hi, can we come over for dinner?" No, we're busy.
Hear you.
What? You can't hear me?
Nope.
Oh man.
Ah, you're back.
Shit. Is it good now?
Yeah.
All right.
What
was I saying?
I just saying they have a bunch of money, and then
right. So they have so much money that the president calls them to ask if they can come over for dinner, and they're like, "Sorry, busy."
Yeah,
those are the people. They went from making black powder to Teflon. So we can all thank them for that, because we all have chemicals in our bodies that's been pushed into the drinking water. So we all have a little bit of DuPont in us, at least a DuPont invention. So this should mean something to all of you, because you got shit floating around in you.
I'm sorry, I can't get past the dogs, to be honest with you.
Sorry, man. I didn't want to, just like her, I wanted to be subtle and keep going. I didn't want to do a 20-minute bit on that.
I know, it's just in my head. I'm like, what the
I know, I have these. I'm like, no, I just don't.
Give them to somebody. Give them to somebody. Like.
God damn, right? Like, I just can't imagine like how many dogs must have been around anywhere else for people. Anyway, I don't like it, but it just blew my mind. So yeah, I had a good week. How was yours?
It was good. I'm sorry you got kidney stones again. That's fucking shitty.
Well, I have them, and then they come out one at a time, real fucking slow. That's the bitch of it. I'm gonna go check and see if I have any more. That way, if I have to adjust my diet, I'm only eating like 10 calories a day, but I can crack down to 5, whatever we have to do. But yeah, I would. as I'm asking you about your week, I would like to say Alex had a birthday, and happy birthday, Alex.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's not a big one at all. It's
It
just a
is to
birthday.
us, Alex.
Well, that's adorable. But thank you. I for my birthday, Cal and I hung out most of the day, just kind of chilled, did nothing, and then I saw went to a show. I saw Gojira Mastodon and a band called Lorna Shore opened, and it was at the Memorial Coliseum where we went and where we saw that hockey game, the hockey match.
Oh shit!
They played
Whoa,
there, so it was
cool.
cool. I've seen Mastodon and Gojira before. I've seen Mastodon once before this and Gojira twice before this, and each time was in a fairly big venue. They was in and the one downtown we saw Deftones in. The one downtown Portland. I forget the name of it.
Showbox. No.
No.
What's the show?
In any rate, it's a pretty decent sized venue. It's just on the tip of my tongue. I don't know why I can't say it. But that place was a decent sized venue, probably holds like a few like it's probably like, I don't know, like 1,000 people maybe.
Roseland.
Roseland, yeah. I don't know. It seems like it could hold quite a bit of people, but this place could hold like 10,000 people. And I'd say there was probably like 5 to 8,000 people there, maybe, give or take. I don't know. This is just me looking around. But it was a good show. Someone I know who comes into my work often, a few months ago, saw me wearing a Gojira shirt at work and was like, "Hey, you want to go see Gojira?" I'm like, "Yeah, you want to go?" And he's like, "Well, they're going on tour with Mastodon in April, and I work for Mastodon. I do the lights for Mastodon." He's like the Mastodon's like lighting dude. He like works for them.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh shit, really?" He's like, "Yeah, I can get you into that show. It's April 18th." I was like, "Whoa, cool, that's my birthday. I'm down to go." Ended up going. It was cool. We were on the floor, down on the floor, and like got to kind of like hang out with the dude a little bit, see him, do his light business, which was it's a huge light show. Mastodon and Gojira are like famous metal bands now. Like
Right.
they're known, and yeah, it was a good show. Like we've covered before, Mastodon's later stuff isn't so great, kind of, especially their new album.
Right.
Sounds like Maroon 5 trying to play metal. To me, that's what it sounds like. I'm like, it's just not for me. But their first four albums are some of the like best metal albums, especially the first two. Remission and Leviathan are some of the best metal albums during that era in the early mid 2000s. But anyway, the show was awesome. Gojira also has an album that's a stinker. Their newest album, not that great, and they played some of it from it, and I was just like, God, this. They almost put like a 10 out of a 10 live show. It was almost like 100 out of 100 live show, and then they played these two stinkers, and I was like, damn it, they get 2 marks against them. But great show, big show, lights, super fucking loud. Big screen behind each of them with awesome videos. Like it was great. And the opening band to me was probably my favorite, just because they're like death metal, like they're really heavy. Cookie Monster, gravy throat sounds, like yar 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 yar. Okay, really awesome band. And I got one of their shirts. It's got like this lady that's got like blood all over her face, and there's like a knife, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great show. It was a lot of fun.
How did Mastodon do? How was their set?
It was good. They put in a lot of their old stuff. It was had a peaks and
Yeah.
valleys. They definitely played some of their shit that I don't like too much.
It
And
didn't. It wasn't any better live.
I mean, it was a big show. There was pyrotechnics and there's fire and a big light show, and so all that made the not good songs better. It made up for it because there was fire and fucking lights and videos, and their videos were like really psychedelic and like it was cool. It was like really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, what they did, and I realized that seeing it, and I always kind of knew it, but seeing them live, I know why some of the songs are kind of shitty. Is because they let the drummer sing, and I was with my friend Alan, and I leaned over to Alan. I'm like, they should never let the drummer sing. They should fucking just put tape over his mouth. Like, don't. Like, he's a great drummer. He's one of the best metal drummers like ever, in my opinion. But stop singing. Stop singing. Or do a side project. I don't fucking know, but
Like fucking Ringo.
yeah,
We all live.
yeah.
You got it,
But
Ringo.
they still had a really great set, and they were still very good live. They put on a great show. Gojira put on an excellent show, and Lorna Shore was like pretty fucking cool. So though I did feel bad for Callie though, because we were on the floor, and she's like
Oh, she's a shorty.
she's 5-0. Like, she's
Yeah.
so 5 foot. If you call her 4'11", she gets mad. You know what I mean? Like, that's how 5 foot she
Oh, I
is.
was like, really? I'm gonna do that. What are
She's
you,
just
4'11"?
so yeah, exactly. She'll be like, "I'm 5 foot. Measure me."
I made it.
And she'll do it. She'll go get a tape measure and be like, "Measure me. Do it." I'm 5 foot.
Oh man. Oh. Don't
Um,
tell her what happens with old age.
yeah, I know. Well, she knows because her mom's shrinking. Um,
We all will.
yeah. But yeah, she just couldn't see. I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't fucking think about being on the floor and you being short. I forgot about that part."
I don't know if it's all about. I think if you're short at concerts or if you're mid height like us, well, I mean, you're definitely fucked if you're short. I
Yeah,
really think that if you want to be on the wall, you should be allowed to be on the wall. The only band I've ever seen that brought that up was Fever Ray. They actually put signs in the Roseland, the same venue,
mhm,
which I thought was cool as fuck. If it said, please if a woman is behind you, let her be in front of you. If someone is shorter than, if you're taller than someone, basically have some fucking etiquette. If you're a
yeah,
tall prick, move back, and women to the front is what it said, basically. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and just leave that on there and just done? Why can't those just be the rules? Like some
right.
courtesy. So, but if she doesn't want to be on the wall, I understand that. But I do think like there's no way to see anything. It's not fair. We have a hard time seeing. You and I are about the same height, and we have to line up between two assholes' heads. Here's two heads. This is us. That's how we watch shows. Her, nothing.
Yeah,
She gets
yeah,
to sniff a jacket. That's no fun. I've done that. It sucks. So I do get it. But the problem is you could get seats, and then it's like you're sitting there trying to watch a show, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, how's Timmy doing?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah." And you can't mosh because you're in a seat, so you can't push anybody. So, maybe she should get to hang out with the sound, the lights person. I don't know. Or they just need like a shorty pit. Like, here you go. All you
Well,
guys right here, nice and safe. You can
right.
see everything.
Um, I kind of thought we were gonna be in the sound booth area,
Oh, yeah.
but it was the first show of the tour, so I think things were a little bit like, we got to get everything right. We don't want to worry about like distractions or someone that doesn't work in this industry tripping over something, or whatever it is,
Right.
you know. So,
The only
but
place, sorry.
no, go ahead.
The only thing I was just going to add to, like, if anyone's listening to this and goes to shows and has a problem, the only place I know of at a venue like where at a like a Coliseum type venue where it's an open GA floor but seating around, which is usually standard for bigger metal shows and yada yada. But if it's an open GA floor, usually You can get a little bit of hangout space behind the sound booth, like just in the back. There's usually some like I've seen Radiohead like that, and we were just able to move to the back, and you could just see over everybody's damn head, and it's beautiful. And you can just move around whatever the hell you want. But more and more they're selling seats on the floors these days for $500 a pop, so you can't just stand in the back. But if you can, that's about the only spot I could tell anyone where you might be able to see the show if
Right.
you're vertically impaired. So
Yeah. But she made it. She had a, it's not like she was seeing bands that like she really likes.
she
But
just stood there and thought about life.
well, I think she was getting ready to leave. She was like, "Man, I really want to go." I think,
Oh,
because
really?
we were saying, well, I mean, she wasn't being weird about it. I mean, I think
No, I didn't mean
we were standing the whole time.
right.
I think she was just, on a like on a concrete floor or whatever. So like she was kind of like, yeah, you know,
Fuck yeah.
you know.
You see me stretching and shit. I'm like, what's he doing? He's just trying to stay. That's it.
I'd say, yeah. But
That
overall,
show. Woo! How's my back? It sounds like a bear commercial. Like the bear pills. Wow, it was a hell of a concert. How do you feel? Well, my back. Yeah, definitely.
so I went to go get a $12 beer, and
Not bad.
not bad, not bad.
Not bad.
Uh,
Not bad.
and there was all these lines for all the beer booths, and then there was one that had the guy was just standing there, behind the booth, like, and there
Juggling.
was no, in the end, there was no line. I was like, I'm gonna go over here. So I got out of line, went into that line, and I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, yeah, we got this cider, this cider, this cider, this cider, this cider, this cider, this cider,
Cider.
this cider, this cider, and Michelob Ultra. And I'm like, oh, that's why there's no one over here. But I was like, I don't want to get back in the end of that line. I was on I was halfway. So I was like, I'll get a Michelob Ultra, and I drank it. I was like, no wonder no one wants to drink this. This tastes like shit. I told that guy, he's like, yeah, it's not good, is it? I'm like, no. But then Callie got a water, and he, it was in a water bottle, but he had to open it and pour it into another plastic cup. And I was like, just curiosity, how come you're doing that? And he's like, oh, because the bands have had water bottles thrown at them before, so they don't want people to have water bottles. I'm like, oh, weird. But you're like, I'm not trying to sound like I didn't say this to him, but I was like, thinking, I was like, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking hippie or anything, but
Waste. Yeah. What the fuck?
that's
Double the plastic.
that's a lot of plastic, man.
We are in Oregon, right? Like,
yeah, I'm like,
give a shit about this stuff.
I'm not trying to be like a man, the fucking oceans. I'm just like, well, think about it, man. It is a lot. That's double. That's two.
You can throw cups too, man. Like,
Yeah.
I do get it.
You
I
can
get
throw
it.
a cup.
No. Stack 50 cups together. It's going to be a problem if they'll hit you at once. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That's yeah. It's kind of like, okay, so recycling's cool as long as, it doesn't bother, as long as it's not doesn't mean
Yeah, exactly.
bottles to the face. I get it. Whatever. It's always something silly. We're just having fun here on this planet. It's really, we're trying while we're here. That's all. I'm glad you had fun, dude. I'm really jealous that you found something to do on your fucking birthday. Usually, I'm not that fortunate because mine's the day after the 4th of July, so people are hungover. Sometimes you can find a concert or a good movie will come out. Otherwise, it's like, what are you doing today? It's my birthday. What are you doing for your birthday? Fucking talking to you because I got nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't ask. No one asked. It was like, fuck him. We did fireworks last night. That was his birthday. You'd be like, wait, oh, your birthday's tomorrow? Cool. Here, light this. Happy birthday. Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Like, no, that's cool, man. I'm glad you found something to do because that could be, yeah, that's good.
At any rate, you want to get into talking about music?
Yeah, I'll brag real quick. We're gonna trim it up just a little bit today, because I got my uncle. Long story short, landed 4 Diamond Club seats at a Phillies game. I'm a poor bastard, so I've never gotten to sit that low in my life. But if the umpire farts, I'll be able to tell what he had for breakfast. That's how close we'll be. So cutting it short so I can get my skinny ass up there for that. So we're gonna roll into the music. Yeah.
Yeah. The band was the Goo Goo Dolls. You finally did, you son of a bitch. Um, their album, their newest album, which I have to say, when I didn't, when it landed on Google Dolls, I was like, okay, I didn't know they had a new album from last year, 2022, brand new. I had no idea that we were doing the new album. I thought it was just like a fucking whenever from whenever time period. But and then Tony and I decided to squeeze in one of their other albums, their very first album, self-titled, from 1987, and we decided to kind of do it. We won't give our this is kind of gonna give our opinion away of the album, but we decided to do that one from 1987 as a palate cleanser, if you will.
So I'd like to. I'll say this. Alex dug deep for all of us. Alex did some work. I'm gonna tell like I'm telling. This is my perspective. I had no fucking idea what Goo Goo Dolls album this was. I thought this was the one that had all the hits on it, and I was like, cool. You know, it'll be. I don't like them, but I've heard them. It'll be okay.
Right.
This wasn't like Alex said. It was their their newest album, their COVID album. They recorded a bunch of bands, put out a bunch of COVID albums. I haven't heard a great one yet. With like we were talking about Mastodon, and some people just put out chill COVID records. Um,
Right.
in any case, but Alex hit me up a few days ago, and we'll say this is the reason we've took 10 days to record this. Whatever. We'll blame it on uh, Alex. Actually, I texted him and I was like, dude, this fucking album is really hard. I'm trying to sit here and listen to it, with Steph. We can't do it. She's driving the car. She won't let me play it anymore. We made 5 songs of it, and he's like, listen, have you heard their first album? I was like, I'm not doing any more of this shit. Like, no way. He talked me into it, and I just pulled up the song list of the first album, and the last song is called "Don't Beat My Ass with a Baseball Bat."
Yeah.
So immediately I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" So yeah, we decided to exactly like Alex said. Once I don't know why in the fuck Alex decided how. Maybe you made it. I got to know how you found this album, because if you just decided I'm going to scroll through all this and find how did you find this album? The
Well,
first
I
one.
do
Why don't
this
you
with
listen?
every band. I
That's
listen to the one that was suggested, and then I go to the very first one, and I just not always I don't always listen to it, but I look at it and just go, oh, when because I'm like trying to get like things relative, like things to talk about, like when was their first album? Because then now when we do the show, I could be like, it's cool. I could say something like, oh, it's cool, they're still making music and they started making music in the 70s. Their first album was from Buddha.
right.
So that's why. And I was like, I wonder what this sounds like. Just wonder, So I put it on. I was like, huh, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is this sounds like alternative hard rock or like punk. It's from
Punk.
1987. So it's like it's not that it and I want to be clear about this. It's not that it's groundbreaking.
No, no, but
It's not like the first album was like, oh, they used to be so good and then they turned into this pop new band to get money, and like it's not like it's that. It's just a little bit better than this bullshit, this chaos and bloom. Like it's a little bit like it had a little bit of heart, It sounds like this if you were to see them live when they were making this music from 1987, that there would be like a mosh pit and 15-year-olds
right,
flying through the air and shit like that. It sounds like it would be cool.
right.
And if someone is playing this in their garage and we're hanging out and drinking beer, I wouldn't be offended. I'd be like, oh,
No,
yeah. I wouldn't even ask about it. I'd just be like, oh, it's fucking
right.
generic punk rock. It's fine. But this one, the Chaos and Bloom, is offensive. It is. Yeah. It's like it's offensive, but I want if I was in the mall, walking around in the mall, and that was being played through the whole mall, I wouldn't pay no mind to it. You know what I mean? It'd just be
Right.
like, it fits in the mall. If you're like in a Christian bookstore or Barnes and Noble, something like that, that's Chaos and Bloom. That's the kind of music that should be playing. But
I want to pull up on Spotify. I want to read this out loud. And I'm not here to roast a band, but I'm gonna tell it like it is. So when you pull it up on Spotify, and I've never seen this before, but right there's a blue dot. I don't know if anyone can see it. There's a blue dot.
yeah.
And what it says is 498th in the world. Listen, I don't know what place I'm in, but if I'm 498th, don't fucking tell anybody. Okay? Like, what the fuck?
I know, like in the grand scheme of things, like there's thousands and thousands and maybe millions of bands, like, but still, it's not like that's any 498. Like
I wanted to read about them. I wanted to know their backstory, yeah. And I see that and I'm like, hang on a second, what? Who gives a sorry, that's like, you're not even in last place. Way the fuck back there.
It's
Yeah.
like if it was somewhere between 1 and 50, I think that's something to brag about.
Yeah,
But
that's something, right?
maybe even 100. Maybe even 100. The top
Okay, all right, yeah, all right, 100.
100.
Out of all the bands, fine, 100, but 500. So yeah, let me read this out loud because this, I'm sorry, this is doctored, just like all their hits. Total, my opinion, this is doctored. 4 decades into their storied career, alt rock legends, Goo Goo Dolls are still discovering new and invigorating ways to make the most exciting music they've ever recorded. Oh, this shit's deep. With more accolades than can fit an individual sized trophy case and global #1 celebrated across the globe. Global and globe in the same sentence. Horseshit. I'm still going. It makes sense for a band of such proportions to phone things in, take a step back, or merely retreat from the spotlight. 498th.
Yeah.
Almost paradoxically, though, Goo Goo Dolls have remained at the top of their game and increasingly daring over the years precisely because the music has always been put on a pedestal that remains unattained by all of the other outside laurels the band has earned. On their new album, Chaos in Bloom, Goo Goo Dolls sound like a band more confident than ever in their sound, yet constantly looking for fresh ways to get their story across. Marking their first record to ever be produced by the lead singer, it's an album of biting sarcasm, stadium-ready choruses. We're going to sing this shit out loud. And spear sharpening. Songwriting. Who the fuck's doing a spear? In short, it's a quintessential Goo Goo Dolls album. 498th. That's horseshit. That album is not that.
I'll say a couple things. One thing about the 498 thing, I know that's like not good and nothing to brag about, but when I thought about it for a couple minutes, it's a lot better than I would put them. It's still a lot better than I would put them. I'm just being honest. Like, and again, I'm not trying to brag. Like, you fucking got money. People actually like your shit. Like, cool. I'm like, I'm sitting here. Like, we're both sitting here. I'm not trying to brag on you guys, but also it's not good. And so, 498. I feel like that's pretty generous. Just saying.
I'm sorry, but someone in the band wrote that.
Oh well, no.
I mean, come on, man. Like you didn't even. And that's the reason I read these is because usually it's like the band started here, and then this happened, and that happened, and I like that history. It's like, oh, cool, they're from here. I couldn't even find out where the hell they're from. I was like, I didn't have enough time to futz around. But anyway, I was like, whatever, they're from somewhere. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Actually, the lead singer lives in New Jersey. So if he wrote this shit during the pandemic in his basement in New Jersey, that totally fucking explains it. It's like, there it is. Sounds like something you write when you're depressed in New Jersey. That's this album. Sorry. It is. I made it 5 songs. I really fucking tried. I was like, I can't. I just can't. And then Alex turned me on to that album, their first album, and I was like, yeah, they don't even want anyone to know that they ever did this shit, because
Yeah.
this album, the first album, is proof that right after that, some record is some agent somewhere. It's like, you're not going to sing that shit anymore. We have an idea.
Well, yeah, they were on what label it was. It was like one of those labels that started back then that had like up and coming like alternative rock bands. Like they were like Nirvana. They were like that. The up
They
and
could
coming,
have been. It's
yeah,
crazy.
they were the up and coming like rock band, punk band. I forget what label they were on back then, but it was like kind of like a sub pop kind of thing, you know. It
Yeah.
was a new album that had these rock bands, and then they just went completely fucking left turn to another direction. But I'll say, and I want to say this about, although this new album, Chaos and Bloom, is just, there's nothing on it. I will say this: I'm not surprised. It sounds exactly the way I thought that it would sound. You know, it sounds like the Goo Goo Dolls to
It
me.
doesn't. It doesn't to me. I don't like it. I'm being honest. The shit that they played on the radio, the Goo Goo Dolls songs. While I'm not a Goo Goo Dolls fan, but if the shit was on the radio, I know the words. It's okay. It's not. It's all right. Like if we were reviewing their top album, their one that had all the hits on it, I wouldn't beat it into the ground. I wouldn't, because
Well, is that because it sounds like a time? It sounds like the time that you were listening to music, and you've heard it a billion times, and you're familiar with it, or is this
I didn't hate like their hits. I didn't hate them. I mean, I don't like them, but I mean, I respect them. I honestly like some of their. It's like, yeah, this isn't. It's okay. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like someone's getting beat up, and you don't care if they get beat up, but you don't really want to see them get beat up. It's kind of like that. It's like, hey, you want to stop beating them up? This isn't necessary. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's like, listen, all right, it's the Goo Goo Dolls. They have some good songs. I don't personally dig them that much, but if it's on in the car, I won't ask you to change the channel because it's your car. So it's kind of like that. It's like they're okay, and that's what I was expecting to hear. I fucked up. I didn't know what album this was. Same thing as you. I was like, wait a minute, this is new. I was like, well, this could go either fucking way, and it went the other way real fast. I was like, oh, I'm fucked. We're totally screwed. I thought we were gonna listen to the hits, but yeah, I was so floored that you were like, dude, check out their first album. And I was just like, wow. So hope everyone listens to their first album just to
Yeah,
see
I
what they
mean, it was. That's the thing, is it's pretty good. Like if I had to rate
it
the
doesn't
first,
sound like the Goo Goo Dolls.
no, I know. I mean, that's probably why. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if someone had it on, I wouldn't. I'd just be like, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty good. I might not even ask who it is, but if I did, I'd just be like, oh, this is pretty good. Who is this? And they'd be like Google Dolls, and I'd probably punch them in the head.
Right.
But yeah, it's if I had to give like 1 out of 10 for their first album, I would give it like a 7, just
Right.
because kind of it's like a C. It's like yeah, it's fine, it's good enough.
Okay.
But the 1 out of 10 for their newest one, I'll give them a 2.
You read my mind. I had the fingers up. That's great. So if we sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I see you.
No, 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 no. I was just gonna kind of just repeat myself. So go ahead.
Well, that means if we take an average, they're a steady 5. So there you go. So the Google Doll Alex is like, I'm not signing up for that shit. He won't put his ink on that sentence. He's not doing it. He's not signing.
I don't give a shit about a fucking steady average. Fuck
Well, if we're
that.
talking about our tastes, we're not worried about anybody else here. We're not
Yeah,
speaking for the people who watch this show. I don't like the Goo Goo Dolls.
yeah.
I respect the fact that other people do. And because we've had radios, the radio shoves music down your throat, has been doing it since we were all born. Um, I know the songs. So it's kind of like, it's familiar, like mall music or shopping music, like Alex said, grocery store music. And this new shit they made, I guess their fans are into it. I don't know a lot of their fans. No one has said, "Have you heard the new Goo Goo Dolls?" to me. But hey, I'm maybe it's going around, and that's great. Um, I just wanted to see, what happened if we listened to it, and we did.
Well, who suggested it?
I think our friend, my friend Brian, suggested it, but I don't think he meant to. I think he said he was fucking around. I don't think he was being serious. But I kind of grabbed. We were having a conversation, and he said you should do the Goo Goo Dolls, and I was like, done. And he's like, no, I'm fucking kidding. And I was like, nah, fuck you. You said it. That's what happened. It's just so you know, he's not trying to shit on our parade.
No, I mean, I don't care. It's part of it's the
Well,
rules of
he wasn't trying to like set us up for failure and like, here, play this trash. He was like, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm like, no, 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 you said it. You're right. Let's fucking do it. Let's see what happens.
even if he was, it's fine. It's okay to okay.
Right. Well, actually, he made a suggestion that's on our list this week. A good suggestion. So yeah. And honestly, everyone that's thrown shit in that we've listened to, I fucking appreciate it. Nothing has been terrible. I did this to us, just so we're clear. I did this to us. I did it on purpose. But I think it's so cool that I throw some shitty Hail Mary into the mix, and Alex is like, check out the first record. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, really? How the fuck? And that to me is awesome because then people are like, let's just say that I'm at some coffee shop and I'm chatting up some girl and she's like, I love the Goo Goo Dolls. And I'm like, me too! Self-titled 1987. What's your favorite song? The rest of their shit sucks, but this one, makes you want. I want to get the tour. I want to get the tour shirt from that tour. Somebody send me one. The
Yeah.
87, the album release tour for the first album, their self-titled 87 Goo Goo Dolls record. Somebody send me an original something from that album. I want to wear it out loud. I want people to see it.
I want to wear it out loud.
He's a big Goo Goo Dolls fan. Just the first record.
Yeah.
And it was cool. That's the silver lining here is that I grabbed a band we wouldn't listen to, and he found something out of it. Alex is like, all right, let's see what's in the bottom of this dumpster. Found something.
I want to get to the bottom of this, Tony.
I'm at the top of the dumpster, like, why'd you jump in there? Good job, dude. Seriously, nice work. Saved our ass. That was fucking funny.
Well, want to get to the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely.
We had the main job that we were here to do.
That's right. So we did get a suggestion this week that I'll mention here in just a moment. Our friend Brian was nice enough to throw a suggestion on our latest YouTube video, as we recommend. So thank you for that. So of course I'm going to say, if anyone has any suggestions, have at it. Something brand new you've heard that you like, something old as hell that you just found it, whatever's in your mind, throw something down. We're in.
Yeah.
All right. So now that Alex has the wheel on the number 1 spot, it's pretty cool. Most of this list is kind of fresh. We've got all the old stuff off for the most part. So let's see here. In the number 1 spot, we have the Big Lebowski movie. Number 2, we have Ice Cube with his album Predator. Number 3 is Alex's spot. Number 4 is Aretha Franklin with her album Amazing Grace. Number 5, Mudhoney, their newest album, Plastic Eternity. Number 6, this is once again from our friend Brian, James Carruthers, Relapse. It's sounds like outlaw country. And then we've got number 7 is my spot. Number 8, we've got Against Me with Searching for a Form of Clarity. Number 9 is Louis C.K., Sorry. And I'm sorry, but I cheated and listened to this shit, and it's really fucking funny. And
cheated? Cheater!
I'm a cheater! I won't. It's really funny. And then number 10, David Bowie with Black Star. So, Alex, do your thing.
All right. Here we go.
It could be a car, it could be a washing machine, or it could be the latest Goo Goo Dolls album, and it's number 2. All right, Ice Cube, Predator. There we go. Put some
Right.
hip hop into the mix. All right. So, if you want to play along with us this week and listen to the music, we are listening to Ice Cube's album Predator. Definitely got some hits on it. Um, I was not allowed to listen to music like this back then, so I don't know it. I'm excited to hear it. I know some of it because I'm a rebel. So, that being said, thank you.
Um, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching and listening. You could go to Instagram, Titfu69, and leave us a direct message and suggest a band and an album that you would like for us to review, or a movie. You could do the same thing on YouTube on our channel, the most recent episode. Go to the comment section and drop your suggestion. That being said, thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.